My name is Tim Ferriss. I am author of The 4-Hour Body. This is one of many laboratories where I've been spending my time for the last 10 years or so doing experiments in physical performance and physical appearance enhancement. So my goal is to create a movement around people who feel like they're in control of their own bodies. So, without further ado, let's get started. All right, this is Tim Ferriss sharing some of the findings in the 4-Hour Body here with bodybuilding.com, and I'm going to show one ancillary exercise that can be used to improve the deadlift. This is a kettlebell. This is what we have at my feet. The kettlebell is borrowed from the Soviet Union, a former Soviet Union, and is used for many different purposes. Looks like a cannonball with a handle on it. And the exercise that we're going to cover is the kettlebell swing, the two-hand kettlebell swing. So the best way to learn the kettlebell swing, this will help with your hip drive and the hip extension. Rather than using something like a leg curl, this is operating at the hip. So the easiest way to learn this is actually by emphasizing a method used by Czar Horton. Czar Horton is a certified RKC, and this is how you learn it. First thing you do is you set up the kettlebell roughly between your toes here at the midpoint. That's point A. And you're going to do what are called touch and go deadlifts. All right, the deadlift is not a squat like this with your knees traveling over your toes. The deadlift is hips back, almost like you're trying to close a car door with your ass, okay? You want the shins to be as vertical as possible. So this is how we're going to do this. So you come down, head up. You really don't want your shoulders to go ahead of your knees. And you're gonna kind of come up. That's what the movement looks like. And then you're gonna bring it down to exactly the same point, okay? Hitting this kettlebell in the middle at the front of the toes. And you're gonna do that quickly 5 times. Popping the hips like that. All right, so that is point A. Point B, which is what you're going to practice next, is at the heels. Again, the handle of the kettlebell is roughly at your heels, okay? So you're going to do exactly the same thing. You're going to come up, you're going to pop at the hips, and then you're going to turn the kettlebell back to point B, exactly where it is here. And this is what it's going to look like. You'll notice when it reaches the top, you'll have a small pendulum-like effect. That's fine. That's actually the point of this exercise. So you're going to be here. Like that. Now, you're going to go to point C. Point C is going to be back here, right under my ass. Okay? That's point C. And so once you lift the kettlebell up from point B here, boom, you're going to drop it back to point C and then pop. The goal is not to get over your head, just about here. You're not focusing on the arm extension, it's more the hip pop, all right? So you're not using your shoulders to lift the weight. So now this is what the kettlebell swing will look like. Like that. All right, so that is the kettlebell swing. Generally, when I'm using this for improving the deadlift on my speed day of sorts, I will actually do extended sets of anywhere from 20 to 50 repetitions, working all the way up to the beast, which is, I think it's 48 kilograms, so that's lacking my math at the moment here, but over 100 pounds. So I am generally doing 1 or 2 extended sets of this 48 hours after a max effort pulling day, all right? So next, I'm gonna show you an option that is less expensive than purchasing your own kettlebells, which can be $80 to $100 to $150 for a fixed weight. And I'll show you an option that costs about $10 that you can get from Home Depot. That's what we'll cover next.